What even is the Yale 250? Why does it exist? What are you supposed to do with it? It's so open-ended. How does anyone even go about addressing the prompt? For those of you who are new, my name is Sydney Montgomery. I am the CEO of Montgomery Admissions Consulting, and I specialize in working with first-generation and minority law school applicants. And today we are covering supplemental essays. Specifically, today we are talking about the Yale 250. The Yale 250 it's like one of those things you love to hate, but you also still love it. Probably some of you are just like, no, I only hate it. But I think it's very much in line with the character and the feel of Yale. It is something that, I tell students all the time. You need to understand the school that you're applying to. You need to understand what their values are, what it is that they really hold and respect, where their priorities lie, and get to understand the culture of the school. And I feel like the Yale 250 is one of those things that is just so Yale, in a way that, we also do college admissions here, and U Chicago has always the most interesting supplemental essays. But I tell my students, if the U Chicago supplemental essays annoy you, if you don't want to write them, if you're like, I don't understand why this exists, you probably are not a good fit for U Chicago. If the U Chicago essays excite you and you're just swimming with possibilities, you're so excited to write about where X is and how to find it. If that's the kind of person you are and it makes you tick, then you probably are a good fit for U Chicago. So stealing from what I tell my high school students, if the Yale 250 annoys you, if you don't understand why you need to write it, if you are dreading every moment of it might be an indication that Yale might not be a good fit for you. But if you are so excited about all of the different academic exercises you could go through and you have so many ideas, or even if you don't really know what you want to write about, but you're kind of excited about the possibility of figuring out what you want to write about, the Yale 250 might just be for you. So when we're talking about the Yale 250, I want to cover three things. I want to cover what the prompt is, ways to approach it, and things that you should avoid. So let's first address what is that Yale 250 prompt. It reads as follows. The Yale 250 word essay is an opportunity to explore an idea or issue from your academic, extracurricular, or professional work that is of particular interest to you. The idea or issue you choose does not have to be law related. This is simply another opportunity for faculty readers to learn more about how you would engage in the law school community. That's a lot, right? They're basically saying, explore an idea or issue. It could be from any particular place in your life. It doesn't have to be law related. We just want to get to know you. It is purposefully vague and open-ended. I think that what really kind of confuses students when they first look at this essay is that it is so vague and open-ended. And it is also such a short essay. So it's both daunting in its topic, but then daunting in its kind of mandate to be concise and judicious with your words, to be selective in your vocabulary and in your linguistic choices. I am an English major. I love writing. This is why we also work on your essays, right? We love writing here. I love how powerful words can be. I love how beautiful they can be. But writing, I know, is not everyone's strong suit. And so when you think about ways to approach the Yale 250, you want to break it down into a few different areas. First, you want to think about brainstorming your topic. Now, students that work with me know that we do a very large brainstorming at the beginning of our time together. And I do that purposefully because I understand the number of supplemental essays and optional essays that are becoming prevalent in the law school admissions landscape. And I want us to be able to do a very large brainstorm. And then from that brainstorming matrix, we're able to choose stories from your personal statement to your diversity statement to your optional essays. So oftentimes my students at this stage, I will say, go back to your brainstorming, template, go back to it and see what is left. What are the stories that you haven't used and what would be good for the Yale 250? Now, if you're not working with me and you may not have brainstormed like that and you're like, well, Sydney, I've already written my personal statement. I've already written my diversity statement. I haven't brainstormed anything else. What should I do? I do want you to think about what is that issue or topic that's of importance to you that is not necessarily covered in other parts of your application. I haven't said this in a while, but I know that you guys know what's coming. Your application is like a puzzle, right? And you have different pieces of the puzzle. And I always say, right, you want to be in a 1,000-piece puzzle and not a 50-piece puzzle. So you want to give me more puzzle pieces so that I can get to know you better. But the other thing around that is that you don't want to give me the same puzzle piece more than once. You don't want to give me 2 top right corner pieces. So if you've already talked about that passion, that reason for going to law school, maybe it's immigration law, maybe it's responsible AI. If you've talked about that ad nauseum, right, in your personal statement, you really don't want to talk about it again in 250 words for your Yale 250 because you're not teaching them anything, right? You're not giving them anything new. The really important thing to remember, too, is that Yale has faculty readers. Professors are reading your Yale 250 and your application as a whole. Professors love a good thought exercise. They love to be academically stimulated and challenged. They want to see your intellectual curiosity. So there is a lot that kind of goes into showing the professors, that I am a student that thinks deeply about issues, that thinks introspectively about my place in the world, that has nuanced thoughts on issues, and nuance and creativity are very important too in your Yale 250. So you want to pick an issue or a topic that, like I said, it's not something that you've beaten to death already in your other 2 essays, but it's still something that elicits really and kind of invites that intellectual curiosity, but also shows still part of you, and you're still showing them, this is why I really care about something, or these are some of the thoughts that I've had. It's another part of your personality, another part of your journey, another part of who you are, because even with a personal statement and a diversity statement, you can't fit into 3 pages double spaced, and that's always the issue or the concern that students have when writing their essays. I can't get my whole life into just these 2 pages, and that's the beauty of supplemental essays, right? Is that they allow you other ways to show different facets of your life to complete the picture and make for a well-rounded person. And so when you are, however, talking about this issue or this passion, right, this interest area that you have, as I briefly mentioned, you want to talk about it in a nuanced and creative way. And creative doesn't mean write a poem. Don't send them a poem. I'm sure someone has sent them a poem and gotten in, right? But I probably wouldn't advise you to try to dig up, like A rhyme structures and write a poem or a haiku to Yale. I just don't think that that's really going to go over very well for most students. But when I say creative, it means, if you're really interested in police brutality, let's just say, and you haven't already talked about it in your personal or diversity statement, sure, you could talk about police brutality, but, don't just state the obvious, right? Don't just tell me Black and brown bodies are disproportionately stopped by police and disproportionately, killed by police, and this is an issue that I want to go to law school to solve. You would have really missed the point of the Yale 250 if you just do that. It is your opportunity to write and discuss, to challenge an issue, to take a side on a debate, but still give nuance. You want to show that you enjoy an intellectual thought process. And again, some of you listening do not enjoy intellectual thought processes. This is my opportunity to tell you, Yale may not be a great fit. Yale's a very small school. It's a beautiful, beautiful school. It's a beautiful community of people. So many friends that have gone to Yale. It's just such a beautiful, amazing place. But it's a small, small community. And they are really big on intellectual thought exercises and the theoretical, right? That's why Yale produces some of the most professors, right, in the country. They produce probably close to the most Supreme Court clerks, right up there, with Harvard, Yale, and Stanford, of course. But Yale is really known for students that want to become academics or to go into academia, to become part of the academy. Like that's, of course, students from Yale go to big law and nonprofit and everywhere else that lawyers flock. But they're very good at producing students that want to contribute to legal scholarship. And so, again, I say, if you are completely uninterested, not necessarily if you're good at it, you can grow good at it, but, get better at it. But if you are completely uninterested in academic thought exercises and intellectual curiosity, this might not be a great fit for you. As you're thinking about your topics, just, think, how can I best explain or best show a passion area of mine, or a topic that really makes my blood boil, or a topic that I'm so happy about. It doesn't have to be serious, right? It could be a very interesting deep dive on the history of knitting. I don't know. But it doesn't have to be world peace and systemic racism. It can be almost anything. But this is one of those things, and all of your essays are like this, but this is really one of those essays where it is how you write it that matters, because Yale cares deeply about students who are strong writers. So you want to show that your level of writing is very high. You want to elevated, prose and diction. That's why I said, you want to show that you are a strong writer. That is paramount in this exercise. This is not the time to rush through and give something sloppy because it's the last thing on your list. I will also say that for Yale, because of the way that they read, there are no real advantages to submitting early or submitting later in the cycle. So you have time to really create a beautiful piece of writing, and you should if you are going to actually apply to Yale seriously. Now, things to avoid in your Yale 250, I've touched on some of them earlier. Don't just give me something that's in your personal statement already. Don't give me something that's not nuanced. Don't give me something that's obvious and lazy thought reasoning, right? Sometimes we can make lazy arguments just in life. This is not one of those times to make a lazy argument. Again, this is not your personal statement, so this is not 250 words on why you want to go into immigration law. That's not what they're asking you. They specifically say it does not have to be law related. Now, it can be law related, but it does not have to be. This is not a diversity statement. This is not your chance to tell me about what it was like growing up in a single parent household, unless you are also talking about an issue or an idea related to that came out of that was birthed from that. But it's not simply just a personal expose, right? They really do want you talking about an issue or an idea. So you want to be careful about how you approach this differently from maybe some other supplemental essays that are solely narrative and personal in scope. This is a little bit more, as I've said repeatedly, a thought exercise. So guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for just your dedication and your support. If you liked this video, make sure that you hit the like button and subscribe, rate and review the podcast, share it with a friend. We are going to keep going, with the rest of the application cycle. We're wrapping up our applications hopefully by the end of the year or in January. If you have any questions, definitely reach out to me. We've also put the links to our blog posts on the Yale 250 and the Georgetown Law supplements below. We also have a ton of blogs on our website about different essays and different scholarships. So definitely make sure that you're checking that out. And you guys know that even if you do a Win Giving Tuesday, you guys know we do a giveaway, not always as big, but we do a giveaway every month in our Facebook group. So if you are not in our Facebook group, Barrier Breakers Law School Edition, get yourself in the Facebook group because 2022 is going to be awesome. And we want to make sure that we have lots of goodies for you and we support you on your journey. I will talk to you guys very soon.